come here and talk to your dad. Greetings and hello there, everyone. It's me, your Star Wars dad, Nooch Too Good. I'm here today talking with Dakyos Zyzy. Tell me something. I've been saying a name like that for a while. Am I pronouncing it properly?
Yes, you are.
And where does that name come from? That's the first question.
So that actually started from a D&D style Star Wars campaign, and that was the name of my character at the time. And that was just a little bit before I started playing Galaxy of Heroes, so I used that as my username when I started.
So what is a D&D style Star Wars? Is there a Star Wars D&D style game out there?
Yeah, so Wizards of the Coast originally released a D20 Star Wars game. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
It's called Star Wars Sagas. It's based off of the D&D T20 system, and it's set up to where you can basically play any era of Star Wars very simply. It's got a lot of source books, so you can have the statistics for anything you really need. And I've played it a few times. It's a lot of fun.
I'm looking this up right now. I guess I'll look it up on Amazon here. So that's cool. I can see it right here. All right. Awesome. I did not know that existed. Looks like it came out in 2007. So good stuff. All right, Dakyos Zyzy. So let's talk about it. You were on the stream yesterday talking about how you are going to go after Galactic Legend Leia, and that's why I've got you here, is talk about farming her. Are you going to be like opening her up day one, or what are your plans for Galactic Legend Leia?
So I don't intend to have them day one. In order for me to really do that, I would have to be able to whale on the new marquee characters. So what I'm actually doing right now is getting all of the non-marquees up to their gear requirements, since they're very friendly requirements. Since R2's already required at Relic 7 for another GL, getting them bumped up to 8 is really easy. The quick boost to Relic 5 for Captain Leia and Han. And then Lando was already at Relic 5, so I didn't have to touch them. So it's just getting Wicket, Chief Chirpa, Admiral Akbar all up to Relic 3. And Lobot as well, since that just came out in the requirements. But once those are finished, I'm just going to be working on farming up those marquee characters as much as free-to-play as I can. And while working on those, I'm actually going to be working on getting other journey requirements or GL requirements finished up. And possibly looking at having either 2 GLs around the same time frame. I did something similar with Jabba when they were first coming out, and did Jedi Master Luke at the same time. And it was a great way to boost up my account, but I'm also trying to broaden things out so I can have more of a viable roster outside of just my GLs and journey characters.
So I'm going to guess the other GL you might be farming alongside that is going to be Kylo. Would that be right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Yeah, I've got your first order pulled up on the screen, and I was sifting through, and I looked at... I always go to Bad Batch. If your Bad Batch isn't farmed, then you are in Kyrotech hell. Which you are in that. So yeah, Kylo makes a lot of sense for that. That'd be really cool to unlock Kylo and Leia like back to back.
Yeah, it's a good way for me to fill out some stuff that I wasn't able to get to earlier on in the game because I wasn't quite built up to the point yet.
Mm-hmm.
And getting the new stuff so I can stay viable within the new metas that are coming out, especially with the new raid coming up. I've got a feeling that the GLA is going to be a huge part of getting a good score on that.
Right. Now let's talk about, you're working on Leviathan here. What's the story there?
So Darth Revan and Jedi Knight Revan were really what got me into the game. So when Leviathan came out, it's a ship that I have loved for a long time and have wanted to see more Old Republic material within the game. So that's something I rushed for as soon as I saw it was coming. I've been saving up my crystals so I can hopefully bring it to 7 stars as soon as the event comes back around, and get myself back into the top tiers of my fleet shard.
Now, you can't 7-star it the first time through, right? It would have to be the second, the second time through?
I believe there might be a way to 7-star. I would need to double check that,
Okay.
though. I think if you had the crystals, you could 7-star it.
That may be right. I for some reason I'm thinking that there's a max to the amount of times you can refresh, but I don't know. Maybe that was old. Maybe that's old thinking, and they've changed it since then. But that's cool, man. Get. So you could be adding in the next 6 months Leviathan, Leia, and SLKR to your roster.
Yes.
That'd be pretty hot.
That's the hope. And also rounding off my Mandalorians by getting armor up to 7-star and into relics. And also currently working on Marin, so I can get my Night Sisters up and running finally.
Let me take a look at Marin here. I've got your, so you've got Starkiller too. Let's pull up those Night Sisters here. I think this is all really good stuff. So, yeah, your Night Sisters, you got the base team there of the 4. You add Marin to that team, and then you're just crushing stuff. So, yeah, you're in really good. You are demonstrating right now. Now, you're just like well, if you're farming Leviathan, you kind of pay as you choose, right? That's the idea I'm getting here?
Yeah, I think the best phrase out there would be I'm a dolphin within the game. I pay a little bit, but definitely nowhere near as much as the whales would.
Right. So, where was I going with that? I don't know where I was going with that. I was looking at, see, Leviathan's farmed up. I don't know. I'm really excited. So you're kind of sitting in that sweet spot, and you may have been there for a little while because you said you did Jabba and Luke at the same time. That sweet spot where you've got all the basic stuff farmed, you got a few Galactic Legends farmed, and now it's like you're not talking about incremental adds. You're talking about big adds at this point. You add 2 Galactic Legends maybe in a couple of months. You add a Leviathan. You know, in the next 6 months, your roster is going to go from. What are you in right now? Are you in Kyber right now? Kyber 5.
Yeah,
you're looking at jumping to Kyber 3 or 2. You know, over the next 6 months.
That's the hope. I have been bouncing around Upper Erodium, Lower Kyber for quite a while now, so I'm hoping that these new additions will boost me up, or at least keeping me more consistently within Kyber.
Yeah, I can relate to that. So, and right now it looks like you've got Executor, but not. What's your Profundity plan?
So Profundity was started as a grind, but when the Leviathan was announced, I was only partway into getting the relic grinds, plus I still have to get
Radis
up to 7-star.
Yeah.
So there was a lot that I had to work on there for the Leviathan with the way everything came out, as long as I was using the crystals that I was getting daily from my Galactic, my GAC. I could actually get the new ships up to 7-star in time, without too much worry. So the only thing that really slowed me down there was getting the Fury, since I wasn't able to get that fully through the first 3 conquests, and I had to wrap that up. Otherwise, I would have gone for Leviathan on the opening day. Which, kind of glad I didn't with the bugs that came out.
Makes sense. It makes sense. I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you a personal question. Then we're going to jump back into Leia a little bit. So, you mentioned that KOTOR is KOTOR the thing that got you into Star Wars, or how did you get into Star Wars?
So my dad is a huge Star Wars fan. Since I was a little kid, I remember watching the Star Wars movies with him, the toys. Episode 1 for the longest time was my favorite movie. But the KOTOR games, as far as video games were concerned, were one of the first things that really hooked me in, and the story of Revan in particular. And to this day, like anytime there's new Revan content that comes out, I try to devour it.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. You know, for a lot of people, KOTOR was that first like story game where it actually told a unique and creative story about Star Wars that didn't exist before. And you're not unique. You know, that sounds mean. I'm not. I mean, that sounds mean, but I think you're in a big group there, and it happens. It's like, I think it's 80 to 90% of the time I say, "What got you into Star Wars?" And the first thing people say is my dad. You know, so. And and it was the same for me and my son. You know, I got my son into it. Episode 1 was his jam. He wore the VHS tape out, but that's really great to hear. Let's talk a little bit more about Leia. So you're looking at farming her, but you're a dolphin. So what are you just going to farm the shards for Captain Rex and Nisa and Scout Trooper, and I call him Jor-El. I'm never gonna get the guy's name. That's fine because he's not a real person. Are you just gonna farm them like one one at a time? Are you gonna refresh those nodes? How are you gonna farm those nodes?
So my current plan is just do them once a day until I get at least all of the other requirements done. That way I can focus more on the actual gear requirements that I need to build up at the moment, because I am starting to get a little bit of a bottleneck on my gear 12s. And with that in mind, once all of the rest of the relics are done, I'm definitely going to be investing my crystals back into extra refreshes on those nodes if they need them. I'm hoping at least one of these characters is a Cantina node in the end, because that'll definitely expedite the grind. But for the most part, just whatever daily crystals I can allot to it after I've got Leviathan unlocked will go into getting the daily refreshes maybe once or twice. But the big focus right now is getting everybody else up to gear, since that can take a while.
And you got to get Hux up to 7 stars too, it looks like. I didn't look at Smuggler Han.
Smuggler Han's up to 7-star. The lowest things I have within the Kylo requirement, I think, are gear 10. But everything else is gear 12 or Sith Trooper at relics.
Yes. That looks right. And then you got, yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah, man, your account is really shaping up and looking to be really nice here in the very near future. And it's interesting for me to see kind of that, what's the tipping point, right? Like each account has a tipping point where, and my free-to-play account is in the middle of it right now, where it's like, I've got all the stuff done, and now like every time I add something, it's a big, giant add, and it's a giant leap forward, and you're definitely there. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you do here in the next 6 months. You get Leviathan, maybe you're going to get Leviathan next month, and then looking at these Galactic Legends. So that should be a lot of fun to watch your... Oh, wait, what's the line? I look forward to... what did Palpatine say to Annie when what did he say?
We will watch your career with much interest.
I shall watch your career with much interest. Or oh man, now I gotta Google it. Hold on.
I'm trying to look it up too now.
Yeah, so let's see. Palpatine. We will watch your career with great interest. That's good. We will watch your career with great interest. And he is like his mouth is open big. Yeah. Anyway, all right. There we go. We will watch your career with great interest, Dakyos Zyzy. Hey man, so this is great stuff, and I really appreciate it, and I look forward to your Galactic Legend Leia farm. Any parting words for folks? Any words of wisdom, ideas, thoughts on the game as we head out here?
I mean, as always, grind what you love, go for the characters that you like, and if you're not having fun with the game, then find something in the game that you like.
Yeah.
There's a lot there.
This game has come so far in nearly 8 years now that you can do anything you want. I mean, there is really nothing out there aside from maybe some really small side farm, aside from Phantom Menace, where there's no characters in the game except for Qui-Gon. But
yeah,
and Newt, I guess. But yeah, we'll look forward to a lot. We'll look forward to your career. So yeah, there's a lot to farm in the game, and I agree. It's always about having fun. If you're not having fun, then why are you playing a game? Go do work and do some work. So, Dakyos Zyzy, thanks for jumping on with us today.
Of course.
All right, everybody. Let us know in comments how you are going to do your Galactic Legend Leia farm. I'd love to hear from a bunch of you how you're going to work through that. You're going to be farming shards by buying them. What are you going to do the nodes 2-3 times a day? What are you going to do to get Galactic Leia unlocked as fast as possible? I will talk to everybody soon. Have a great day, and always remember, Newt's too good.